Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Acting News Director Tad Stefanak, BNEWS reporters Robert Paris and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, Gretchen Carey with Community Calendar, and Marge Yetman with Senior News. Also Anthony Matos with Sports. Thank you for joining us. Recent reports indicate we may not be out of the woods yet with COVID-19. According to the latest data from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health released on Thursday, the 14-day average of daily incidence in Burlington was up to 13.6% on April 7th, which is a significant increase from the 9.8% reported on March 31st. On March 24th, it was at 7.4% and at 6.2% on March 17th. The percent positivity rate was 3.54%, which is up from 2.63% reported on March 31st. On March 24th, Burlington was at 2.05 positivity rate and at 1.69 on March 17th. As far as the number of cases in Burlington has reported, is a total of 5,113. This is up from the number of cases reported last week, which was 5,077. The total number of cases on March 24th was 5,055 and 5,034 on March 17th. So as you can see, the town has been at a steady increase in COVID cases over the past month. Burlington's numbers also reflect an upward trend across the state, with nearly 2/3 of Massachusetts cities and towns reporting an increase in cases, although we are not at the same level of cases reported back in January during the surge of the Omicron variant. As always, health experts recommend the best way to protect yourself from coronavirus is to receive your COVID-19 vaccine and booster, and to continue wearing a mask and social distance when in heavily crowded areas. Dr. Wayne Saltsman is stepping down after 15 years of the Burlington Board of Health. BNews reporter Robert Paris met with Dr. Saltsman on his 15 years at the Board of Health and talked about Burlington's health and well-being. Let's have a look.
Wayne Saltsman, MD, PhD.
After 15 years serving his community, Dr. Wayne Saltsman has decided to step down from the Burlington Board of Health. In 2007, Dr. Saltsman was asked if he'd be interested in joining forces with the BOH.
A community member told me that one of the board members was actually moving out of town and had to leave the board, and there was going to be an opening, and wouldn't it be great if a medical doctor could be on the board, and would I be interested? That was kind of the series of events that led me to be on the board. And for the life of me, I can't remember who appointed me, if it was the town moderator at the time, who was Phil Gallagher, or if it was the selectman, I'm not sure, but ended up on the board.
The Board of Health took center stage when the COVID-19 pandemic made its way to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in 2020.
But I think just being available and being in it, the board played a significant role. Susan Luminello, the director, there was no time clock during the COVID pandemic, during the surges. The Board of Health did its job and beyond during COVID, and our community is better for that. No one will ever be able to convince me otherwise.
Saltsman is thankful for his time on the board and recommends the community to let their voices be heard.
It is always important to lend your voice to something that's bigger than you. I would urge the citizens of Burlington to be involved, to speak out when they think that their voice needs to be heard, to stand for something. That's what we did on the board. There were times in which things were very contentious and concerning, and there were times when we could laugh a little bit, and that was fun too. Share your voice with your community. Your voice is important. I think that's the biggest take-home from this time.
I'm Robert Paris for BNews Weekly.
All I can say is thank you.
In other health department news, one of the founding members of the Burlington Volunteer Reserve Corps, Sandra Volterro, is stepping down from her role as BVRC's Executive Committee Chair after leading Burlington's emergency preparedness for 10 years. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak has more.
After 10 years of service, Sandra Volterro is stepping down as chair of the BVRC Executive Committee.
The whole idea of this organization is to get our volunteers ready to support the first responders in case of some emergency.
Part of Sandra's outreach has been the BVRC television show Be Prepared on BCAT.
My name is Sandra Valtero, and this is Be Prepared.
Now, all of a sudden, one day, I said, I think we need to educate the public more about being prepared in any situation on health, wellness, or safety. So she sent me before the board of directors, and I told them my idea that I wanted to have a show on BCAT. They were very excited about it and thrilled that I wanted to do something like that. And so I started going out trying to get experts in different fields of interest that I felt would educate the public.
And when a worldwide health crisis like COVID hit, the BVRC was prepared.
We were ready. Our volunteers stepped right up, even though it was unsafe to do so for them. They came and worked at some of our clinics that we had. And not only that, the increase just from before the pandemic till now. I mean, our numbers have went from 123 to over 300 volunteers. I felt that I was able to accomplish an awful lot. I was very grateful that I had someone like Susan Luminello as our director, because she was very open to hearing me, my ideas, and what I thought our volunteers needed. And working with her, we were able to really accomplish an awful lot. And I'm grateful that I had a chance to do that.
From the Burlington Human Resources Building, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
On May 1st, Burlington's own nonprofit, People Helping People, will be among thousands of virtual participants to lace up for Project Bread's 54th annual Walk for Hunger. This marks the first time People Helping People will participate in the event. People Helping People is in the walk through the Commonwealth program, which gives 60% of all funds raised by teams from like-minded organizations like People Helping People, with the remaining 40% applied to the statewide anti-hunger effort. To be part of the program, register your team or make a donation by visiting projectbread.org/walk or call 617-723-5000. Our crack team has that up on the board for you. There is no registration fee or fundraising minimum to participate. People experiencing food insecurity can call Project Bread's toll-free food source hotline 1-800-645-8333, which provides confidential assistance to connect with food resources. The Tactical Air Control Party Association is a veteran-run charitable organization that raises funds to support members and their families and dedicated to protecting America and her interests. BNews reporter Tad Stefanak was over the BHS track and has this.
From out of the wild blue yonder, the United States Air Force landed at the Burlington High School track for the 11th annual TACBI Association 24-Hour Challenge.
It's the Tactical Air Control Party. It's an organization within the United States Air Force Special Warfare. What we do is provide integration and fires from air and ground within close proximity to friendly forces. So what that means is I'll be on a radio out with a team forward. If we start to get shot at or we make contact in some way, I'll get on the radio, get a aircraft, a helicopter, fixed-wing aircraft, or somebody to put down fires and then stop that fire coming at us. I decided to help these guys out, two active duty folks, Major Root over here in Texas Cisco, to put together the TACBI 24-Hour Challenge. It's a worldwide challenge that every unit in the Air Force active duty puts on. So for 24 hours straight, you'll have at least one team member running, and it's to memorialize and honor our fallen, killed in action and killed in training. The TACBI Association is a phenomenal organization to donate to. They provide funding to Gold Star families. So at each major milestone in a Gold Star family child's life, they'll donate $5,000 for a scholarship, $5,000 for their first car, and they'll basically donate $20,000 to each child of a Gold Star family member. Also, if there's an active duty person that has a need and they can't fill it, the association will pay for that. If there's a retired person, the association will reach out and help them out.
From the Burlington High School track, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
Interact is back at Burlington High School. Interact clubs are Rotary International's service clubs for young people. Burlington High School's Interact Club is sponsored by the Rotary Club of Burlington and is returning to its mission. BHS Interact Club President, Senior Sean Gallagher, no relation, has been a member since his freshman year and said that due to the pandemic, they got the club back up and running in March. The mission statement of Rotary International, service above self, and at each meeting, the club does some sort of activity to give back. It's a great group of young people, a great club, and a great way to give back to the community. The Mama Bear Effect is celebrating 10 years as a nonprofit organization dedicated to educating and preventing child sexual abuse. Like many years before, they helped kick off Child Abuse Awareness Month with a celebration on the town common and Grandview Farm. BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak shares this.
Burlington-based, the Mama Bear Effect is a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating awareness and education for the prevention of child sexual abuse. The Mama Bear Effect helped kick off April as National Child Abuse Awareness Month on the Burlington Common.
Today we were asked to come out and support the Mama Bear Effect in recognition of April being Child Abuse Prevention Month. So we're here to show our support for that, obviously, as police officers and parents of kids in the schools and kids at the tender ages that are affected by this. Obviously, it's all of our duty to come out here and make sure that we pay attention and give some life to the prevention.
Festivities then moved over to the Grandview Farm.
So we're really excited because April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, so we're having a day to proclaim this month being recognized in the town of Burlington, and we're also having a fundraiser here at the Grandview Farm to help raise money for our organization and also share some information and resources on abuse prevention.
Today we have the Mad Science performing for us at 2 o'clock, and then we also have a raffle balloon drop happening at 3:30.
I am the author of Your Whole Body, and Your Whole Body is an inclusive book for children ages 2 to 6 about the entire body, including the genitals. Because when young children know the proper names for their genitals, that's actually a protective factor for them against child sexual abuse.
I think this is our 10th year planting pinwheels in honor of Child Abuse Prevention Month, so that we're really excited about that. I know a lot of people drive by and sometimes now they realize that our organization is the one that puts that together. So we're starting to, build some awareness in the community for this month.
From the Grandview Farm and the Burlington Town Common, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
The Recreation Commission recently voted 3-0 to select a contractor to build a new treehouse at Simons Park. For a couple of years now, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department has been working with the Simons Trust on some special projects. Last summer, Parks and Rec were approached by a local family looking to make a donation of $100,000 to a Parks and Recreation Department project. After providing the family with a list of possible projects, the family chose to contribute to a new Simons Park treehouse. Details were worked out with the family and the Simons Trust, and Parks and Rec will begin proceeding with the project later this summer. The project will cost $200,000 to be funded by donations from the family and the Simons Trust. The contract for the construction of the treehouse has been awarded to the Treehouse Guys, LLC of Warren, Vermont, an appropriate name, I guess. The treehouse will be built between the Visco building and the skate park and will be completely accessible with ramps, teaching, and play areas. The treehouse will also have a plaque with the donating family's name and the Simons Trust on it. A longtime news source will be making big changes in the next month. The Burlington Union, a publication of Wicked Local, will soon no longer offer print publications, a continuing trend in the nation, and will be offered exclusively online. Gannett Publishing Service, the company that owns USA Today and Wicked Local, recently announced that multiple publications across the state will be going fully digital soon. Melissa Russell, editor of the Burlington Union, confirmed to BNews that the Union will cease publication of the print edition on May 5th. The company is moving toward more regional coverage. On her time covering Burlington news, Russell added, "I've truly enjoyed covering Burlington and getting to know residents in the town and business people here." As reported by Westford Cat, 19 local newspapers in Massachusetts owned by Gannett will be ceasing print publications and transitioning to a fully digital format. 9 other papers in the state will be combined to 4. These changes are expected to occur across the state in early May. There's a new head football coach at Burlington High School with over 30 years of coaching experience and new philosophy. George Balian is spreading a new culture for the team, embracing family and good sportsmanship. BNews reporter John Vias met with Coach Balian at Varsity Field.
Family, trust, CHOP. 3 words that best describe the meaning of teamwork and good sportsmanship. A culture established for the Rutgers University football team. And as new coach of BHS, an inspired George Balian plans to spread that culture across the gridiron this season.
I actually
learned that from Coach Ciano from Rutgers University. I listened to speak on a clinic, and he talked about how he changed his culture through family trust CHOP. And the first thing that I envisioned was to have our team be like a family. And CHOP is just another word for focus. Just like when you chop wood, you have to focus on one spot.
The team passes around this leather belt featuring the 3 words written in gold and the signature Red Devil Trident, symbolizing not only the team's future victories, but the dedication, strength, and sweat that these young athletes put in, and how the team looks out for each other with every battle fought on the field together.
That's our reward system. So when the kids do something great on the field, they can hold up to the student body.
And the Family Trust Chop Belt isn't limited to just football, as Coach Balian brings the belt all around the high school and local businesses in town.
Trying to get the town involved, the community involved, small businesses involved, the teachers involved, the school involved, so we can all have school spirit, always have that symbol that's part of our culture.
All 3 Family Trust Chop together is like a big thing for us, like focus, trust, and like everyone together, working together as one unit.
Yeah, I've been coaching for over 30 years, and over the course of those years, you take different attributes and what you like and what you don't like from the other head coaches and kind of formulate your own vision. So now that I'm here over all these years, this is the vision I incorporated for our team and my plan for the team to turn this whole program around.
From Varsity Field at Burlington High School, this is John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
April showers have arrived, and I hope your tulips are well on the way to blooming. So let's look in on BNews meteorologist Peter Brown with the forecast, followed by the community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with your weather for the next 7 days here in the Burlington area. Here we are heading in towards the second week of April. The weather's been kind of nice out there. It's been a little bit dicey here at the end of this week and getting into the weekend, where we've seen a lot of clouds and showery weather around. That, unfortunately, when we start out our period on Friday, is going to be pretty much the name of the game around here in the Burlington area, with our temperatures about average for this time of the year in the mid-50s. But again, with some of those dreary conditions out there, just going to be very cloudy and very damp out there, and that's going to extend, unfortunately, into most of our weekend coming up. But as we get towards the end of the period, when our average highs should be in the low 60s just about for this time of the year, we are going to be seeing our temperatures probably nearly 20 degrees above our average highs as we head towards the end of the period. So it looks like we have some really warm weather heading our way as we head towards next Thursday. And of course, as you notice, the days keep getting longer and longer as we head further into spring. So as you go ahead, let's take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days. And I think you're really going to like both of these maps, probably just the same way I did. Looking at our temperature map, they are expecting us to have very high chances of above average temperatures here, and actually the highest chances of above average temperatures are going to be right here in southern New England. All over the country, we have the biggest chance of having those really nice warm conditions. Now, as we look at our precipitation chances, another great thing, looks like it is going to be drier than normal around here. So some warm, dry spring weather coming up our way here in the Burlington area. That is some great news. Going to have to keep an eye out for some fire weather coming up, though, because when we get some of this very warm air in the early spring, usually comes along with some very dry air. So we have to make sure that we don't have any sparks from any lawn equipment or anything out there, because it can start up a small blaze pretty quickly when we have breezy, warm, dry conditions. But as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up, and I think you're going to be happy with this 7-day forecast. Unfortunately, it looks like our weekend is going to be slightly damp out there. It doesn't look like a complete washout, but definitely not the best part of our period coming up. Our highs are going to be stuck in the low to mid-50s each day with a chance of spotty showers every day. Now, as we get back to work, of course, starting on Monday, skies are going to clear out. Just some fair weather clouds. We're going to be seeing our highs getting up into the low 60s, and that trend is going to continue upward 5 to 10 degrees almost every day. And look at this. By the time we get to Thursday, we're going to be seeing mostly sunny skies out there, and temperatures, what I'm seeing right now, looking like they're going to get pretty close to near 80. And we're probably going to have some big thunderstorms next Friday afternoon as a strong cold front approaches, as we get some humidity in here. So we have an actual early summer-like feel to the air as we head towards the end of the period. So definitely something to look forward to. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On April 14th, the Burlington Conservation Commission is having a trail walk at the Sawmill Brook Reservation area. Attendees can meet at the Fox Hill School parking lot. Everyone is welcome. For more information, go to facebook.com/Burlington Conservation. On April 16th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the Stone Zoo will be having an event called Spring Fling. The event will take place rain or shine. To get tickets, go to the following website. The Mama Bear Effect is having a contest called Best Yard of Awareness. Judging will take place on April 18th. Submit your photos by April 17th to jenna@themamabeareffect.org.
Burlington High School spring athletics kicked off this week, and of course we have Anthony Matos and BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris with the latest BHS action.
We are back. Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, and this is your weekly sports report. Spring sports have officially kicked off at Burlington High School, and we have some updates on what has been happening. Girls and boys track competed against Stoneham in the season opener. For more, we go to BNews sports reporter Robert Paris.
Athletes on both fields had their game face on as the start of the spring season for track was underway. Both teams competed against the Stoneham Spartans and found a way to take home victories from that afternoon at Varsity Field.
It was our season opener, our dual meet opener versus Stoneham today. We won this meet and had a few first places in a few other events too. A small handful of state qualifiers already, so it looks really good in the future so far.
Today's score is 102-34. Last year, I believe it was 133-3, so they're improving, and it means we have some work to do.
The Red Devils had quite a day performance-wise for the first outdoor spring meet.
But what I was able to see so far today is Cora Laverty at high jump, 5 feet, and then she went for 5.2 and looked really good at that.
And the long jump, Grace Hanfin jumped 18.1, which is a school number 2 performance ever.
Huge PR for her, yeah.
That's great to see in an opener.
And then Brooke Bibbo in disc and shot put, first place. So these are the girls that we have high expectations for, and they always come and match our expectations and even set the bar a little bit higher.
In the running events, we had a nice job in the 800 by Eric Sakaya, good job in the 2 mile by Joey Guerrero, Quinn Flaherty in the 400. In the field events, really didn't get to see much. I think Elijah Walensky was a double winner in the high jump and the long jump.
It is always a good feeling to start off the season with a win.
I did what I thought. I had a pretty good first meet personally. The girls did great. We had some girls in different events today that they've never done before. And yeah, I think it overall went great. It was a beautiful day out too, so it was awesome. I had a great time.
Next up, Burlington will travel to Watertown to see the Red Raiders on April 12th at Victory Field.
Watertown will be very similar today. Won't be a lot of challenges for our kids, so they have to learn to challenge themselves. They have to learn to work to improve, whether they're winning by a mile or losing by a mile.
From Varsity Field, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Sports.
For a full list of results, go to bcattv.org/sports. Lady Devils lacrosse went to Bedford on April 1st, and the girls didn't head home on a high note as they lost 6-18. On April 6th, they had their home opener against Winchester, where the team dropped another game after the 13-18 loss. The Lady Devils will be traveling to Reading on April 8th, and they are 0-2. Red Devil lacrosse also competed against Bedford on the first here at Varsity Field. Burlington got the 8-3 win over the Buccaneers and went to Winchester on the 6th. Things didn't go their way as the Devils lost in a close game of 4-6. Burlington will host Reading on April 8th at Varsity Field and are now 1-1. Let's switch gears and talk about what's happening at Rohannes Park. To start, the Lady Devils tennis team began the year at home against Winchester and were unable to score against the Red and Black. 0-5 was the final score. They headed to Reading on April 4th, where the team lost another meet 4-1. Burlington went back home on the 5th to compete against Lexington and were shut out the second time this season and dropped to 0-3. Burlington is 0-2 this season and will go to Stoneham on the 7th. As of this taping, the meet is still to be played. Red Devil tennis moves to 1-2 this season after getting a win over Reading on April 4th, 3-2. The other two losses were against Lexington and Winchester. Burlington will compete against Malden Catholic on April 7th. As of the taping, the meet is still to be played. Lady Devil softball began the year in Reading on April 6th at Marvin Field. Burlington came out this one Burlington came out of this one with a victory of 3-1. Originally, they were supposed to start the year against Winchester on the 4th, but the game was postponed. The Lady Devils moved to 1-0 in the season and will host Lexington on the 7th. As of taping, the game is still to be played. Red Devil baseball traveled to Winchester on April 4th to start the season and fell to the Red and Black 6-11. Reading was the next opponent scheduled on April 6th, but the game was canceled due to weather. Burlington stands at 0-1 in the season and will head to Lexington on the 7th. Burlington Red Devil volleyball will begin their inaugural season on April 12th at Methuen. Good luck, gentlemen. For more Red Devil action, go to the BNEWS Sports section at bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for this week. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
People are getting back out and about, and here we have Council on Aging Director Marge Yetman with a report on some activities for Burlington seniors. Let's have a look.
Hello. Today I want to start with some exciting back to normal news. You no longer have to sign up in advance for bingo and Sophia's classes. We still need you to register in advance for others, so we have enough chairs set out. We have some pretty wonderful activities coming in April. Burlington's former police chief, Fran Hart, will be at the center on Tuesday, April 26th, talking about the Beatles. Chief Hart is also a co-founder of the Beatles tribute band, Forever Fab. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to tell us about the Beatles. We will likely have it as a hybrid event, and I will email the link out the week of the show. If you aren't on my email list, please send an email to coa@burlington.org, and I'll get the link out to you at the same time. I can also add you to my list if you want the link to all of our activities that I send out. April is National Poetry Month, so on Wednesday, April 27th at 1 o'clock, we'll have the Poetry Club from the high school at the center to read some of their poetry. We'll have snacks and a small gift as well. Our movie for April will be Sully with Tom Hanks. Sully is the story of the Miracle on the Hudson, and I think it is an excellent movie. We are also adding movies that you can sing along with to our monthly repertoire. Our premiere movie will be The Sound of Music on Wednesday, April 13th. The words will be on the screen to make it easier to sing along. If you are having trouble making ends meet, please give Andrea or Brenda a call at 781-270-1950. Fuel assistance has been extended until the end of May, and SNAP for food assistance is available year-round. They can help you determine if you are eligible. That's all for now. I'm Marge Yetman, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo was sent in by Alex Blaine from Piedmont Office Realty Trust and shows 5 Wall Street lit up with the Ukrainian flag colors, yellow and blue, to support the people of Ukraine. Thanks for the photo, Alex. We're all hoping for what's best for Ukraine and hopefully an ending of the hostilities as they make their way through these more than challenging times. Thanks for the photo, Alex. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your winter activities, which have ended, and soon maybe your spring activities, or family trip, or just everyday moments. Whatever you think is interesting, would like to share with us, we'd like to see it. Thank you very much. The end of the campaign trail is in sight. This is a reminder that Election Day in Burlington is this Saturday, April 9th. Polls will be located at Burlington High School Gymnasium as usual and will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. As far as contested races are concerned, there are only 2 on the ballot this year, as you know. There are 3 candidates vying for open seats on the school committee. Those candidates are incumbent Christine Monaco and newcomers Jeremy Brooks and Melissa Massardo. Longtime school committee member Tom Murphy has decided not to seek re-election. Murphy has served 27 years on the school committee. There are also 3 candidates for 2 open boards on a seat on the Board of Health. There are also 3 candidates for 2 open seats on that board. They are incumbent Dr. Ed Weiner and newcomers Janice Cohen and Gail Demore. Dr. Saltsman, after serving 15 years on the Board of Health, is not seeking re-election. For all election coverage, including candidate debates, letters to the editor, and more, visit the BNEWS Election Center. We'll also have live election night coverage as usual at bcattv.org/BNews Election Center 2022. There is also an open seat on the Housing Authority, which candidate John Forte, F-O-R-T-E, has announced a write-in campaign. Stay tuned after the broadcast for the Burlington Public Schools weekly update. You can also view the BPS update at bcattv.org by clicking Programming, Education, and scrolling down to BPS Weekly. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Tad Stefanak, John Vias, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, Marge Yetman, and Gretchen Carey. Thank you for joining us.